Good evening. Hello again. We are back for another night. I'm going to kick us off with a prayer and we're going to jump right back into it. So I'm going to raise these set apart hands in the sky and just give all praises to the Most High. Through his only begotten Son, Yeshua, hallelujah. You cannot have my tongue, enemy. We rebuke you. In Yeshua's mighty name, Jehovah rebukes you. I just pray that you guys are blessed with the attitude and belief of King David, who said to the Philistine, "You come to me with the sword and with the spear and with the javelin, but I come to you in the name of Yud He Vav He Yahovav host, the Elohim of the armies of Israel, whom you have reproached." And I pray you're blessed like when David faced Goliath and slayed the giant who trusted in Yah and wielded his sling and stone and killed him. I pray you're blessed with that level of belief, trust, and commitment to our Father, and that our Father has your back in everything that you do, and that everything that you do is good and acceptable before our Father. Hallelujah. I pray you're blessed to stand strong against any giants who come up against you. I pray you're blessed beyond belief. I pray that if you're sick, or even if you're not, that you're blessed like Hezekiah was when Yah heard his prayers and blessed him with another 15 years of life. I just pray you're blessed, and I pray you're healed if you're sick or under the affliction of anything, whatever it is that you're going through. We all pray that our whole team here prays that you're just blessed and that you're healed, and that whatever you went through or are going through, whatever is there for you to understand or to learn, to go through, to share with somebody else, to give them strength, to help bring them out of the mud and into clear views, blue skies. We just pray that you learn that, and that each and every one of us lean on him with strength and understanding for guidance, protection, provision, and to move us according to his will. Yeshua, please pray to our Father for us for all of these things. Please pray that every moment that passes by and everything that we do not get deceived by a false gospel and a false Messiah and false prophets, and that we stay steadfast, walking the way in which you walked. Hallelujah. Praise you, Yeshua. In your mighty name and by your blood, we worship you, Yah. Hallelujah. Amen, amen. All right. So here we go. Numbers chapter 10. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, "Make 2 silver trumpets for yourself, make them of beaten work, and you shall use them for the gathering of the congregation and for breaking camp. And when they blow both of them, all the congregation shall meet before you at the door of the tent of appointment. And if they blow one, then the leaders, the heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather to you. And when you blow a shout, the camps that lie on the east side shall depart. And when you blow a shout the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall depart. They blow a shout for them to depart. And when the assembly is to be assembled, you blow, but do not shout. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, blow with the trumpets. And it shall be for you for a law forever throughout your generations. And when you go into battle in your land against the enemy that distresses you, then you shall shout with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before Yahovah your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. And in the day of your gladness and your appointed times, and at the beginning of your new moons, you shall blow the trumpets over your ascending offerings and over your slaughterings of peace offerings. And they shall be a remembrance for you before your Elohim. I am Yahovah, your Elohim. And it came to be on the 20th day of the second new moon in the second year that the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place of the witness. And the children of Israel departed, setting out from the wilderness of Sinai. And the cloud dwelt on it in the wilderness of Paran. Thus they departed the first time, according to the mouth of Yahovah by the hand of Moses. And the banner of the camp of the children of Judah departed, first according to their divisions. And over their army was Nachshon, son of Aminadav. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Issachar was Nethanel, son of Suar. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Zebulun was Eliav, son of Chelon. And the dwelling place was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari departed, bearing the dwelling place. And the banner of the camp of Reuben departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elisur, son of Shedeur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Simon was Shalumiel, son of Suri Shaddai. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Gad was Eliasaph, son of Deuel. And the Kehathites departed, bearing the set apart objects, while the dwelling place was taken up before they came. And the Kehathites departed, bearing the set apart objects, while the dwelling place was set up before they came. And the banner of the camp of the children of Ephraim departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elishama, son of Amihud. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamliel, son of Pedatsur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Benjamin was Avidan, son of Gidoni. Then the banner of the camp of the children of Dan was formed, which formed the rear guard of all the camps, departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pagiel, son of Ochran. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Achira, son of Enan. Such was the order of setting out of the children of Israel according to their divisions when they departed. And Moses said to Hovav, the son of Reuel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place of which Yahovah said, I give it to you. Come with us, and we shall do good to you, for Yahovah has spoken good concerning Israel. And he replied to him, I am not going, but I am going to my own land and to my own relatives. Then he said, please do not leave us, because you know how we are to camp in the wilderness, and you shall be our eyes. And it shall be, when you go with us, then it shall be that whatever good Yahovah does to us, the same we shall do to you. So they set out from the mountain of Yahovah on a journey of 3 days. And the ark of the covenant of Yahovah went before them for the 3 days' journey to seek out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahovah was above them by day when they went out from the camp. And it came to be, whenever the ark set out, that Moses said, Rise up, O Yahovah, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee before you. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Yahovah, to the countless thousands of Israel. Numbers chapter 11. And it came to be when the people were as complainers, it was evil in the ears of Yahovah. And Yahovah heard it, and his displeasure burned. And the fire of Yahovah burned among them, then consumed those in the outskirts of the camp. And the people cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to Yahovah, and the fire died down. Then he called the name of the place Taverah, because the fire of Yahovah had burned among them. And the mixed multitude who were in their midst lusted greatly. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, Who is giving us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we ate without cost in Egypt, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our being is dried up. There is naught to look at but this manna. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance like the appearance of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, ground it on millstones, or beat it in the mortar, and cooked it in a pot, and made cakes of it. And its taste was as the taste of cakes baked with oil. And when the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell on it. And Moses heard the people weeping throughout their clans, each man at the door of his tent. And the displeasure of Yahovah burned exceedingly. And in the eyes of Moses it was evil. So Moses said to Yahovah, Why have you done evil to your servant? And why have I not found grace in your eyes to put the burden of all these people on me? Was it I who conceived all these people? Was it I who brought them forth, that you should say to me, Carry them in your bosom, as the foster father carries a nursing child to the land which you swore to their fathers? Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they weep before me, saying, Give us meat to eat. I am unable to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. And if you are doing this to me, kill me. Please kill me, if I have found grace in your eyes, and let me not see my evil. Then Yahovah said to Moses, Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, and let them stand there with you. And I shall come down and speak with you there. And you shall take of the spirit that is on you and put on them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it yourself alone. And say to the people, Set yourselves apart for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, because you have wept in the hearing of Yahovah, saying, Who is giving us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, and Yahovah shall give you meat, and you shall eat. You are going to eat not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a new moon of days, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes an abomination to you, because you have rejected Yahovah, who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we come up out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people in whose midst I am are 600,000 men on foot, and you have said, I give them meat to eat for a new moon of days. Could flocks and herds be slain for them to be sufficient for them? Or could all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to be sufficient for them? And Yahovah said to Moses, is the arm of Yahovah too short? Now see whether my word meets you or not. And Moses went out and spoke to the people the words of Yahovah, and he gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people and placed them around the tent. And Yahovah came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and placed the same upon the 70 elders. And it came to be, when the spirit rested upon them, that they prophesied, but did not continue. However, 2 men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad, and the spirit rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but did not go out to the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. And a young man ran and informed Moses and said, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. And Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' assistant from his youth, answered and said, Moses, my master, forbid them. Then Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Oh, that all the people of Yahovah were prophets, that Yahovah would put his spirit upon them. And Moses returned to the camp, both he and the elders of Israel. And a wind went forth from Yahovah, and it brought quail from the sea, and let them fall beside the camp about a day's journey on this side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. And the people were up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and gathered the quail. He who has least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. The meat was still between their teeth before it was chewed, and the wrath of Yahovah burned against the people, and Yahovah struck the people with an exceeding great plague. Then he called the name of that place Kivrot Hata'awah, because they buried the people who had lusted. From Kivrot Hata'avah, the people set out for Hatzerot, and they were at Hatzerot. Numbers chapter 12. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite woman. And they said, has Yahovah spoken only through Moses? Has he not also spoken through us? And Yahovah heard it. And the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. And suddenly Yahovah said to Moses and Aaron and Miriam, you 3, come out of the tent of the appointment. You 3, come out to the tent of appointment. So the 3 came out, and Yahovah came down in the column of cloud and stood in the door of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both went forward. And he said, hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahovah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moses. He is trustworthy in all my house. I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly, and not in riddles. And he sees the form of Yahovah. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the displeasure of Yahovah burned against them, and he left. And the cloud turned away from above the tent, and look, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and look, a leper. And Aaron said to Moses, oh, my master, please do not hold against us the sin in which we have done foolishly and in which we have sinned. Please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of its mother's womb, with our flesh half consumed. And Moses cried out to Yahovah, saying, O El, please heal her, please. And Yahovah said to Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, would she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be readmitted. And Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days. And the people did not set out until Miriam was readmitted. And afterward, the people departed from Hatzerot, and they camped in the wilderness of Paran. Numbers chapter 13. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. Send 1 man from each tribe of their fathers, every one a leader among them. And by the mouth of Yahovah, Moses sent from them, from the wilderness of Paran, all of the men who were the heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zachur; from the tribe of Simon, Shaphat, son of Hori; From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Yigal, son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hosea, son of Joshua, son of Nun, Hoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodi. From the tribe of Joseph, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gemali. From the tribe of Asher, Shethur, son of Michael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nachbi, son of Wufsi. From the tribe of Gad, Geuel, son of Machi. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent out to spy the land. And Moses called Joshua, the son of Nun. Moses called Hosea, the son of Nun, Joshua. And Moses sent them out to spy the land of Canaan and said to them, go up here into the south and go up to the mountains and see what the land is like and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many, and whether the land they dwell in is good or evil, whether the cities they inhabited are in camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. And you shall be strong and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first fruits of grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Tzin as far as Rehov, near the entrance of Hamat. And they went up through the south and came to Hebron. And Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were there. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Soan in Egypt. And they came to the Wadi Eshkol and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes. And they bore it between two of them on a pole, also of the pomegranates and of the figs. That place was called the Wadi Eshkol because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down from there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit from the land. And they reported to him and said, we went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. But the people who dwell on the land are strong, and the cities are walled, very great. And we saw the descendants of the Anak there too. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, while the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. And Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and take possession, for we are certainly able to overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. And we saw the Nephilim, sons of Anak of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. Numbers chapter 14. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel grumbled against Moses and against Aaron. And all the congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in the wilderness. And why is Yahovah bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become a prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Egypt? And they said to each other, let us appoint a leader and let us turn back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel, and Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If Yahovah has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into the land and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against Yahovah, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense has turned away from them, and Yahovah is with us. Do not fear them. But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the esteem of Yahovah appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. And Yahovah said to Moses, how long shall I be scorned by these people? And how long shall I not be trusted by them with all the signs which I have done in their midst? Let me strike them with pestilence and disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. And Moses said to Yahovah, then the Egyptians shall hear it, For by your power you brought these people up from their midst, and they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, Yahovah, are in the midst of the people, that you, Yahovah, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of cloud by day and in a column of fire by night. Now, if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, because Yahovah was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of Yahovah be great, as you have spoken, saying, Yahovah is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the crookedness of this people according to the greatness of your loving commitment, as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. And Yahovah said, I shall forgive according to your word, but truly, as I live, and all the earth is filled with the esteem of Yahovah, for none of these men who have seen my esteem and the signs which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 times, have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorned me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me completely, I shall bring him into the land where he went, and his seed shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley, turn back tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. And Yahovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, how long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I have heard the grumblings which the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Say to them, as I live, declares Yahovah, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. The carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in the wilderness. All of you who were registered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. None of you except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in this wilderness. And your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and shall bear your whorings until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, a day for a year, a day for a year, you are to bear your crookednesses 40 years, and you shall know my breaking off. I am Yahovah. I have spoken. I shall do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. And the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land, even those men who brought the evil report about the land, died by the plague before Yahovah. Of those men who went to spy out the land, only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, remained alive. And when Moses spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, see, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which Yahovah has spoken of. But Moses said, why do you now transgress the mouth of Yahovah, since it does not prosper? Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahovah is not in your midst. Because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from Yahovah. Yahovah is not with you. But they presumed to go up to the mountaintop, but neither the ark of the covenant of Yahovah nor Moses left the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountain came down and struck them and beat them down, even to Hormah. Numbers chapter 15. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I am giving you, and you make an offering by fire to Yahovah, an ascending offering or a slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed times to make a sweet fragrance to Yahovah from the herd of the flock, then he who brings near his offering to Yahovah shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. You prepare with the ascending offering or the slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil, and as a drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering or as a slaughtering offering to accomplish a vow, or as a peace offering to Yahovah, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a half hin of oil, and bring as the drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat. according to the number that you prepare, so you do for each one according to their number. Let all who are native do so with them in bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. And when a stranger sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and would make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah, as you do, so he does. One law is for you of the assembly and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the stranger before Yahovah. One Torah and one right ruling is for you, and for the stranger who sojourns with you. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, then it shall be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you present the contribution to Yahovah. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution of the threshing floor, you present it. Of the first of your dough, you are to give to Yahovah a contribution throughout your generations. And when you sin by mistake and do not do all these commands which Yahovah has spoken to Moses, all that Yahovah has commanded you by the hand of Moses from the day Yahovah gave command and onward throughout your generations, then it shall be, if it is done by mistake without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as an ascending offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahovah, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahovah, and their sin offering before Yahovah for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. And if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat a year old as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake, when he sins by mistake before Yahovah, to make atonement for him. And it shall be forgiven him. For him who does whatever by mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns in their midst. But the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he is native or a stranger, he reviles Yahovah, and that being shall be cut off from among his people. Because he has despised the word of Yahovah and has broken his command, that being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him under the guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And thank you. And Yahovah said to Moses, The man shall certainly be put to death. All the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp, and all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, as Yahovah commanded Moses, and he died. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them to make tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of their corners. And it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of Yahovah, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do all my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. I am Yahovah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I am Yahovah, your Elohim. Numbers chapter 16. And Korach, son of Yitzhar, son of Kehat, son of Levi, took both Dathan and Aviram, the sons of Eliav, and On, son of Pelet, sons of Reuben. And they rose up before Moses with some of the children of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, called ones of the meeting, men of name. And they assembled against Moses and against Aaron, and said to them, Enough of you, for all the congregation is set apart, all of them, and Yahovah is in their midst. Why then do you lift up yourselves above the assembly of Yahovah? And when Moses heard, he fell on his face and spoke to Korah and all his company, saying, Tomorrow morning Yahovah shall make known who is his and who is set apart, and bring him near to him, and let him bring near to him the one whom he chooses. Do this, take fire holders, Korah, and all your company, and put fire in them, and put incense in them before Yahovah tomorrow. And it shall be that the one whom Yahovah chooses is the set apart one. Enough of you, sons of Levi. And Moses said to Korah, Hear now, you sons of Levi, is it little to you that the Elohim of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to perform the service of the dwelling place of Yahovah, and to stand before the congregation to serve them, and that he has brought you near to himself, you and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you? Yet you seek the priesthood as well? Therefore, you and all your company are set against Yahovah and Aaron. What is he that you grumble against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Aviram, the sons of Eliab. But they said, we are not coming up. Is it little that you have brought us up out of the land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, that you would also seize total rule over us? Also, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Would you bore out the eyes of these men? We are not coming up. And Moses became very displeased and said to Yahovah, do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, nor have I done harm to any of them. Then Moses said to Korah, tomorrow you and all your company shall be there before Yahovah, you and they and Aaron. And take each one his fire holder, and you shall put incense in it, and let each one bring his fire holder before Yahovah, 250 fire holders, and you and Aaron, each one with his fire holder. So each one took his fire holder and put fire in it and laid incense on it, and stood at the door of the tent of appointment with Moses and Aaron. And Korah assembled all the congregation against them at the door of the tent of appointment. Then the esteem of Yahovah appeared to all the congregation, and Yahovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from the midst of this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. But they fell on their faces and said, O Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, are you wroth with all the congregation? And Yahovah said to Moses, saying, And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the congregation, saying, move away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Aviram. So Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Aviram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, please turn away from the tents of these wrong men. Do not touch whatever belongs to them, lest you be consumed in all their sins. Then they moved away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Aviram. And Dathan and Aviram came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, by this you know that Yahovah has sent me to do all these works, that they are not from my own heart. If these die as all men do, or if they are visited as all men are visited, then Yahovah has not sent me. But if Yahovah creates what is unheard of, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you shall know that these men have scorned Yahovah. And it came to be, as he ended speaking all these words, that the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their households, and all the men with Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into Sheol, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. And all Israel who were round about them fled at their cry, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up. And a fire came out from Yahovah and consumed the 250 men who were offering incense. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, say to Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, to pick up the fire holders out of the blaze, for they are set apart, and scatter the fire some distance away. The fire holders of these men who sinned against their own lives, let them be made into beaten plates as a covering for the slaughter place, because they brought them before Yahovah. Therefore they are set apart. And let them become a sign to the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the bronze fire holders, which those who were burned up had brought, and they were beaten out as a covering on the slaughter place, a remembrance to the children of Israel, that no stranger who is not of the seed of Aaron should come near to offer incense before Yahovah, and not be like Korah and his company, as Yahovah had said to him through Moses. But all the congregation of the children of Israel grumbled against Moses and against Aaron on the next day, saying, You have killed the people of Yahovah. And it came to be, when the congregation assembled against Moses and against Aaron, that they turned toward the tent of appointment, and see the cloud covered it, and the esteem of Yahovah appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tent of appointment, and Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Arise from amidst this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. And they fell on their faces. So Moses said to Aaron, Take the fire holder and put fire in it from the slaughter place, and light incense on, and go, hurry to the congregation, and make atonement for them, for wrath has gone out from Yahovah, the plague is begun. And Aaron took it as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the assembly, and saw that the plague had begun among the people. And he laid on the incense, and made atonement for the people, and stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. And those who died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died on account of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the door of the tent of appointment, for the plague had stopped. Numbers chapter 17. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and take from them a rod from each father's house, all their leaders according to their father's houses, 12 rods. Write each one's name on his rod, and write Aaron's name on the rod of Levi, for there is one rod for the head of each father's house. You shall then place them in the tent of appointment before the witness where I meet with you. And it shall be that the rod of the man whom I choose buds, and I shall rid myself of the grumblings of the children of Israel, which they grumbled against you. And Moses spoke to the children of Israel, and all their leaders gave him a rod each. For each leader according to their father's houses, 12 rods. And the rod of Aaron was among their rods. So Moses placed the rods before Yahuwah in the tent of the witness. And it came to be on the next day that Moses went into the tent of the witness and saw that the rod of Aaron of the house of Levi had budded and brought forth buds and blossomed and bore ripe almonds. And Moses brought out all the rods from before Yahuwah to all the children of Israel. And they looked, and each man took his rod. And Yahuwah said to Moses, Bring Aaron's rod back before the witness to be kept as a sign against the rebels, so that you put an end to their grumblings against me, lest they die. And Moses did as Yahuwah had commanded him, so he did. And the children of Israel spoke to Moses, saying, See, we shall die, we shall perish, we shall all perish. Anyone who comes near the dwelling place of Yahuwah dies. Shall we be consumed to die? Numbers 18. And Yahuwah said to Aaron, You and your sons and your father's house with you are to bear the crookedness against the set-apart place, and you and your sons with you are to bear the crookedness against your priesthood. But bring with you your brothers of the tribe of Levi too, the tribe of your father, to join you and serve you, while you and your sons are with you before the tent of the witness. And they shall guard your charge and the duty of all the tent, but they do not come near the furnishings of the set-apart place and the slaughter place, lest they die, both they and you. And they shall be joined with you and guard the duty of the tent of appointment for all the service of the tent, but a stranger does not come near you. And you shall guard the duty of the set-apart place and the duty of the slaughter place, so that there be no more wrath on the children of Israel. And see, I myself have taken your brothers the Levites from the midst of the children of Israel, a gift to you, given by Yahuwah to do the service of the tent of appointment. But you and your sons with you are to guard your priesthood for all matters at the slaughter place and behind the veil, and you shall serve. I have given you the priesthood as a gift for service, but the stranger who comes near is put to death. And Yahuwah spoke to Aaron, and see, I myself have also given you the charge of my contributions, all the set-apart gifts of the children of Israel. I have given them to you for the anointing, and to your sons as a law forever. This is yours of the most set-apart gifts from the fire, all their offerings, all their grain offerings, and all their sin offerings, and all their guilt offerings, which they render to me, are most set apart for you and your sons. Eat it in the most set-apart place. Every male eats it. It is set apart to you. This also is yours, the contribution of their gift with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them to you and your sons and daughters with you as a law forever. Everyone who is clean in your house eats it, all the best of the oil and all the best of the new wine and the grain, their first fruits which they give to Yahuwah, I have given them to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to Yahuwah, are yours. Everyone who is clean in your house eats it. All that is dedicated in Israel is yours. Everyone opening a womb of all flesh, which they bring to Yahuwah, whether man or beast, is yours. But to ransom, you shall ransom the firstborn of man, and the firstborn of the unclean beast you ransom, and ransom their ransomed ones when 1 new moon old, according to your valuation, 5 shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the set-apart place, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you do not ransom. They are set apart. Sprinkle their blood on the slaughter place, and burn their fat as an offering made by fire for a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. And their flesh is yours, as the wave breast, and as the right thigh, it is yours. All the contributions of the set-apart gifts which the children of Israel present to Yahuwah, I have given to you and your sons and your daughters with you as a law forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before Yahuwah with you and your seed with you. And Yahuwah said to Aaron, You are not to have an inheritance in their land, nor have any portion in their midst. I am your portion and your inheritance among the children of Israel. And see, I have given the children of Levi all the tithes in Israel as an inheritance in return for the service which they are serving, the service of the tent of appointment. And let the children of Israel no more come near the tent of appointment, lest they bear sin and die, because the Levites shall do service of the tent of appointment. Because the Levites shall do the service of the tent of appointment, so they themselves bear their crookedness, a law forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they are to have no inheritance. But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they present as a contribution to Yahovah, I have given to the Levites as an inheritance. That is why I have said to them, among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Levites and say to them, when you take from the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them as your inheritance, then you shall present a contribution of it to Yahovah, a tenth of the tithe. And your contribution shall be reckoned to you as grain from the threshing floor, and as filling from the winepress. Thus you also present a contribution unto Yahovah from all your tithes which you receive from the children of Israel, and you shall give from it the contribution to Yahovah, to Aaron the priest. From all your gifts you present every contribution due to Yahovah, from all the best of them, the set apart of them. And you shall say to them, when you have presented the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as the yield of the threshing floor and as the yield of the winepress. And you shall eat it in any place, you and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tent of appointment. And bear no sin because of it, when you have presented the best of it, and do not profane the set apart gifts of the children of Israel, lest you die. Numbers chapter 19. And Yahovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, This is a law of the Torah which Yahovah has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel that they bring you a red heifer, a perfect one, in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come. And you shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and he shall bring it outside the camp, and shall slay it before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and sprinkle some of its blood 7 times towards the front of the tent of appointment. And the heifer shall be burned before his eyes. He burns its hide, and its flesh, and its blood, and its dung. And the priest shall take cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet, and throw them into the midst of the fire, burning the heifer. The priest shall then wash his garments, and shall bathe his body in water, and afterward come into the camp. But the priest is unclean until evening. And he who is burning it washes his garments in water, and shall bathe his body in water, and is unclean until evening. And a clean man shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and shall place them outside the camp in a clean place. And they shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for the water for uncleanness. It is for cleansing from sin. And he who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his garments, and is unclean until evening. And it shall be a law forever to the children of Israel, and to the stranger who sojourns in their midst. He who touches the dead of any human being is unclean for 7 days. He is to cleanse himself with the water on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he is clean. But if he does not cleanse himself on the 3rd day, then on the 7th day he is not clean. Anyone who touches the dead of a human being and does not cleanse himself defiles the dwelling place of Yahovah. And that being shall be cut off from Israel. He is unclean, for the water for uncleanness was not sprinkled on him. His uncleanness is still upon him. This is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent are unclean for 7 days, and every open vessel which has no cover fastened on it is unclean. Anyone in the open field who touches someone slain by a sword or who has died, or a bone of a man, or a burial site, is unclean for 7 days. And for the unclean being they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer burnt for cleansing from sin, and running water shall be put on them in a vessel. And a clean man shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, and shall sprinkle it on the tent and on all the vessels, and on the beings who were there, or on the one who touched the bone or the slain or the dead or a burial site. And the clean one shall sprinkle the unclean on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall cleanse himself, and shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and shall be clean in the evening. But the man who is unclean does not cleanse himself. That being shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the set apart place of Yahovah. Water for uncleanness has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. And it shall be a law for them forever. And the one who sprinkles the water for uncleanness washes his garments, and the one who touches the water for uncleanness is unclean until evening. And whatever the unclean being touches is unclean, and the being who touches it is unclean until evening. Numbers chapter 20. And the children of Israel, all the congregation, came into the wilderness of Sin in the first new moon, and the people stayed in Kadesh. And Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they assembled against Moses and against Aaron. And the people contended with Moses and spoke, saying, If only we had died when our brothers died before Yahovah! Why have you brought us up? Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahovah into the wilderness, that we and our livestock should die here? And why have you brought us up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place, not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink? Then Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of appointment, and they fell on their faces. And the esteem of Yahovah appeared to them. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give its water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock. And Moses took the rod from before Yahovah as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron assembled the assembly before the rock, and he said to them, Hear now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod. And much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. But Yahovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, Because you did not believe me to set me apart in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you do not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These were the waters of Merivah, because the children of Israel contended with Yahovah, and he was set apart among them. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the sovereign of Edom. This is what your brother Yisrael said. You know all the hardship that has befallen us, that our fathers went down to Egypt, and we dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians did evil to us and our fathers. And we cried out to Yahovah, and he heard our voice and sent the messenger and brought us up out of Egypt. And see, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass over through your land. We shall not pass over through the fields or vineyards, nor drink water from the wells. We shall go along the sovereign's highway. We shall not turn aside right or left until we have passed over your border. But Edom said to him, You do not pass over through me, lest I come out against you with the sword. And the children of Israel said to him, We shall go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I shall pay for it. Let me only pass over on foot without a word. But he said, You do not pass over. And Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. So when Edom refused to let Israel pass over through this border, Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, all the company, departed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And Yahovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron in Mount Hor near the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron is to be gathered to his people, for he is not to enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my mouth at the water of Merivah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, for Aaron is to be gathered to his people and die there. And Moses did as Yahovah commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there on top of the mountain. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days. Numbers chapter 21. And the sovereign of Arad, the Canaanite who dwelt in the south, heard that Yisrael was coming on the way of Atharim. And he fought against Yisrael and took some of them captive. Then Yisrael made a vow to Yahovah and said, If you deliver this people into my hand indeed, then I shall put their cities under the ban. And Yahovah listened to the voice of Yisrael and gave up the Canaanites, and they put them and their cities under the ban. So the name of that place was called Hormah. And they departed from Mount Hor by the way of the Sea of Reeds to go around the land of Edom. But the being of the people grew impatient because of the way. And the people spoke against Elohim and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our being loathes this light bread. And Yahovah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Then the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahovah and against you. Pray to Yahovah to take away the serpents from us. So Moses prayed on behalf of the people. And Yahovah said to Moses, Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live. So Moses made a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. And it came to be, if a serpent had bitten anyone when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived. And the children of Israel set out and camped at Ovot. And they departed from Ovot and camped at Iye ha-Avarim in the wilderness, which is east of Moab, toward sunrise. From there they set out and camped at the Wadi Zered. From there they set out and camped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that extends from the border of the Amorites, for the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it is said in the book of the battles of Yahovah, Wachev and Suphah, the Wadi Arnon, and the slope of the wadi that turns aside to the dwelling of Ar, that lies on the border of Moab. And from there on to Be'er, which is the well where Yahovah said to Moses, gather the people and let me give them water. Yisrael then sang this song, spring up, O well, sing to it. A well the leaders sank, which the nobles of the people dug with their staves by the word of the inscriber. Then from the wilderness on to Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nach-Liel, from Nach-Liel to Bamot, and from Bamot in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the wasteland. And Yisrael sent messengers to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through your land. We shall not turn off into fields or vineyards. We shall not drink water from wells, but go by the sovereign's highway until we have passed over your border. But Sihon would not allow Yisrael to pass through his border. So Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Yisrael in the wilderness, and he came to Yahatz and fought against Yisrael. And Yisrael struck him with the edge of the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Yabok as far as the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Yisrael took all these cities, and Yisrael dwelt in all these cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, who had fought against the former sovereign of Moab, and had taken all his land from his hand as far as the Arnon. That is why those who speak in Proverbs say, come to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established. For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the masters of the heights of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You have perished, O peoples of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives and his daughters into captivity to Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites. Then we shot them. Heshbon has perished as far as Divon, and we laid waste as far as Nophah, which reaches to Medevah. So Yisrael dwelt in the land of the Amorites. And Moses sent to spy out Yazer, and they took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there, and turned and went up by the way to Bashan. And Og, sovereign of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And Yahovah said to Moses, do not fear him, for I have given him into your hand with all his people and his land. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. And they struck him and his sons and all his people until no remnant was left to him, and they took possession of his land. Numbers chapter 22. And the children of Yisrael set out and camped in the desert plains of Moab beyond the Jordan of Jericho. And Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Yisrael had done to the Amorites, and Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was in dread because of the children of Yisrael. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, now this company is licking up all that is around us as an ox licks up the grass of the field. Now Balak, son of Zippor, was sovereign of the Moabites at that time, and he sent messengers to Balaam, son of Beor at Petor, which is near the river in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying, see, a people has come from Egypt. See, they have covered the surface of the land and are settling next to me. And now, please come at once, curse this people for me, for they are too strong for me. It might be that I strike them and drive them out of the land, for I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian left with the fees for divination in their hand, and they came to Balaam and spoke the words of Balak to him. And he said to them, spend the night here, and I shall bring back word to you as Yahovah speaks to me. So the heads of Moab stayed with Balaam. And Elohim came to Balaam and said, who are these men with you? And Balaam said to Elohim, Balak, son of Zippor, sovereign of Moab, has sent to me, saying, see, a people has come out of Egypt and covered the surface of the land. Come now, curse them for me. It might be that I am able to fight against them and drive them out. And Elohim said to Balaam, do not go with them. You do not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose in the morning and said to the heads of Balak, go back to your land, for Yahovah has refused to allow me to go with you. And the heads of Moab arose and went to Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. Then Balak again sent heads, more numerous and more esteemed than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, This is what Balak, son of Zippor, said. Do not be withheld from coming to me, please, for I esteem you very greatly. And whatever you say to me, I do. Therefore, please come, curse this people for me. And Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak, Though Balak were to give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the words of Yahovah, my Elohim, to do less or more. Though Balak were to give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yahovah, my Elohim, to do less or more. And now, please, you also stay here tonight, and let me find out what more Yahovah says to me. And Elohim came to Balaam at night and said to him, If the men come to call you, rise and go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, that you do. And Balaam rose in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the heads of Moab. But the displeasure of Elohim burned because he went, and the messenger of Yahovah stationed himself in the way as an adversary against him. And he was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. And the donkey saw the messenger of Yahovah standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field. So Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back into the way. Then the messenger of Yahovah stood in a narrow passage between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side. And when the donkey saw the messenger of Yahovah, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. So he struck her again. And the messenger of Yahovah went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn aside right or left. And when the donkey saw the messenger of Yahovah, she lay down under Balaam. So Balaam's displeasure burned, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then Yahovah opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, What have I done to you that you have stricken me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the donkey, Because you have mocked me. I wish there was a sword in my hand, for I would have killed you by now. And the donkey said to Balaam, Am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever known to do so to you? And he said, No. Then Yahovah opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the messenger of Yahovah standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head down and fell on his face. And the messenger of Yahovah said to him, Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? See, I have come out to stand against you because your way is reckless before me. And the donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, I certainly would have killed you by now and let her live. And Balaam said to the messenger of Yahovah, I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me. And now if evil is in your eyes, let me turn back. And the messenger of Yahovah said to Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I speak to you, that you speak. Balaam then went with the heads of Balak. And when Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the border at the Arnon, which was in the extremity of the border. And Balak said to Balaam, Did I not urgently send to you, calling for you? Why did you not come to me? Am I not able to esteem you? And Balaam said to Balak, See, I have come to you. Now, am I at all able to say somewhat? The word that Elohim puts in my mouth, that I speak. And Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiryat Chutzot. And Balak slaughtered cattle and sheep, and he sent some to Balaam and to the heads who were with him. And it came to be in the morning that Balak took Balaam and brought him up to the high places of Baal, and from there he saw the extremity of the camp. Numbers chapter 23. And Balaam said to Balak, Build 7 slaughter places for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. Balaam then said to Balak, Stand by your ascending offering, and let me go on. It might be that Yahovah does come to meet me, and whatever he shows me, I shall declare to you. And he went to a bare height. And Elohim came to Balaam, and he said to him, I have prepared the 7 slaughter places, and I have offered on each slaughter place a bull and a ram. And Yahovah put a word in the mouth of Balaam and said, Return to Balak, and this is what you say. And he returned to him and saw him standing by his ascending offering, he and all the heads of Moab. And he took up this proverb and said, Balak, the sovereign of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Come, cursed Jacob for me, and come, rage at Yisrael. How do I curse whom El has not cursed? And how do I rage at whom Yahovah has not raged? and from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I observe him. Look, a people dwelling alone, not reckoning itself among the nations. Who shall count the dust of Jacob and the number of 1/4 of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and let my end be like his. And Balak said to Balaam, what have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and look, you have kept on blessing. And he answered and said, should I not take heed to speak what Yahovah has put in my mouth? And Balak said to him, please come with me to another place from where you see them. You only see the extremity, but not all of them. Curse them for me from there. And he took him to the field of Sophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 slaughter places, and offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. And he said to Balak, stand here by your ascending offering while I meet over there. And Yahovah came to Balaam and put a word in his mouth and said, go back to Balak and say this. So he went to him and saw him standing by his ascending offering, and the heads of Moab with him. And Balak asked him, what did Yahovah say? And he took up his proverb and said, rise up, Balak, and hear. Listen to me, son of Tzipor. El is not a man to lie, nor a son of man to repent. Has he said, and would he not do it, or spoken and would not confirm it? See, I have received to bless, and he has blessed, and I do not reverse it. He has not looked upon wickedness in Jacob, nor has he seen trouble in Israel. Yahovah, his Elohim, is with him, and the shout of a sovereign is in him. El, who brought them out of Egypt, is for them like the horns of a wild ox. For there is no sorcery against Jacob, nor is there any divination against Israel. Now it is said to Jacob and to Israel, what has El done? Look, a people rises like a lioness and lifts itself up like a lion. It lies not down until it devours the prey and drinks the blood of the slain. And Balak said to Balaam, do not curse them at all, nor bless them at all. And Balaam answered and said to Balak, have I not spoken to you, saying all that Yahovah speaks that I do? And Balak said to Balaam, please come, let me take you to another place. It might be right in the eyes of Elohim that you curse them for me from there. And Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor that overlooks the wasteland. And Balaam said to Balak, build 7 slaughter places for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. And Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. Numbers chapter 24. And when Balaam saw that it pleased Yahovah to bless Israel, he did not go as at the other times to seek to use sorcery, but he set his face toward the wilderness. And Balaam lifted up his eyes and saw Israel encamped according to their tribes, and the spirit of Elohim came upon him. And he took up his proverb and said, the saying of Balaam, son of Beor, and the saying of the man whose eyes are open, the saying of him who hears the words of El, who sees the vision of the Almighty, who falls down with eyes opened wide. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Yisrael, like wadis that stretch out like gardens by a river, like aloes planted by Yahovah, like cedars besides waters. He makes water flow from his buckets, and his seed is in many waters. His sovereign is higher than Agag, and his reign is exalted. El, who brought him out of Egypt, is for them like the horns of a wild ox. He devours nations, his enemies, and he breaks their bones, and with his arrows he smites. He bowed down, he lay down like a lion, and like a lion, who would rouse him? Blessed is he who blesses you, and cursed is he who curses you. Then the displeasure of Balak burned against Balaam, and he struck his hands together. Balak then said to Balaam, I summoned you to curse my enemies, and see, you have kept on blessing these 3 times, and now flee to your place. I said I would greatly esteem you, and see, Yahovah has kept you back from esteem. And Balaam said to Balak, did I not also speak to your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, if Balak should give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yahovah to do either good or evil of my own heart? What Yahovah speaks, that I speak? And now, see, I am going to my people. Come, let me advise you what this people is going to do to your people in the latter days. And he took up his proverb and said, the saying of Balaam, son of Beor, the saying of a man whose eyes are open, the saying of him who hears the words of El, and who knows the knowledge of the Most High, who sees the vision of the Almighty, who falls down with eyes open wide. I see him, but not now. I observe him, but not near. A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and shall destroy all the sons of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession, and Seir shall be a possession. Enemies, and Israel is doing mightily. And out of Jacob one shall rule, and destroy the remnant from Ar. He then looked on Amalek, and he took up his proverb and said, Amalek, was first among the nations, but his latter end is to perish forever. He then looked on the Canaanites, and he took up his proverb and said, Firm is your dwelling place, and your nest is set in the rock, but Cain is to be burned. Till when does Ashur keep you captive? And he took up his proverb and said, Oh, who does live when El does this? And ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and they shall afflict Ashur, and afflict Ever, and so shall he also perish. And Balaam arose and left, and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. Numbers chapter 25. And Israel dwelt in Shittim, and the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab, and they invited the people to the slaughterings of their mighty ones, and the people ate and bowed down to their mighty ones. Thus Israel was joined to Baal Peor. And the displeasure of Yahovah burned against Israel. And Yahovah said to Moses, Take all the leaders of the people and hang them up before Yahovah, before the sun, so that the burning displeasure of Yahovah turns away from Israel. And Moses said to the judges of Israel, Each one of you kill his men who were joined to Baal Peor. And see, one of the children of Israel came and brought to his brothers a Midianite woman, before the eyes of Moses and before the eyes of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping at the door of the tent of appointment. And when Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a spear in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. Thus the plague among the children of Israel came to a stop. And those who died in the plague were 24,000. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor. Therefore say, See, I am giving him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his seed after him a covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was ardent for his Elohim, and made atonement for the children of Israel. And the name of the man of Israel who was struck with the Midianite woman, was Zimri, son of Salu, a leader of a father's house among the Shimonites. And the name of the Midianite woman who was struck was Cozbi, the daughter of Tsur. He was head of the people of the father's house of Midian. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, Distress the Midianites, and you shall strike them, for they distressed you with their tricks with which they deceived you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cozbi, the daughter of a leader of Midian, their sister, who was struck in the day of the plague because of Peor. Numbers chapter 26. And it came to be after the plague that Yahovah spoke to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, saying, Take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel from 20 years old and above, by their father's house, everyone going out to the army in Israel. So Moses and Eleazar, the priest, spoke with them in the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan, by Jericho, saying, Take a census of the people from 20 years old and above, as Yahovah commanded Moses and the children of Israel who came out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, firstborn of Israel, sons of Reuben, of Enoch, the clan of the Enochites, of Palu, the clan of the Paluites, of Hetzron, the clan of the Hetzronites, of Carmi, the clan of the Carmites. These are the clans of the Reubenites, and their registered ones, 43,730. And the son of Palu, Eliav, and the sons of Eliav, Nemuel, and Dathan, and Aviram. This Dathan and Aviram were the ones called of the congregation who contended against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah, when they contended against Yahovah. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah, when that company died, when the fire consumed 250 men, and they became a sign. But the sons of Korah did not die. Sons of Simon, according to their clans, of Nemuel, the clan of the Nemuelites, of Yamin, the clan of the Yaminites, of Yakin, the clan of the Yachanites, of Zerach, the clan of the Zerites, of Shaul, the clan of the Shaluites. These are the clans of the Simonites, 22,200. Sons of Gad, according to their clans, of Sephon, the clan of the Sephonites, of Hagi, the clan of the Hagiites, of Shuni, the clan of the Shunites, of Ozni, the clan of the Oznites, of Eri, the clan of the Erites, of Arod, the clan of the Arodites, of Areli, the clan of the Arelites. These are the clans of the sons of Gad, according to their registered ones, 40,500. Sons of Judah, Aaron, Onan. And Aaron, Onan died in the land of Canaan. And sons of Judah, according to their clans, of Shelah, the clan of the Shelonites, of Peretz, the clan of the Partzites, of Zerach, the clan of the Zarhites, the sons of Peretz, of Hetzron, the clan of the Hetzronites, of Hamul, the clan of the Hamulites. These are the clans of Judah according to their registered ones, 76,500. Sons of Issachar according to their clans, of Tolah, the clan of the Tolites, of Puah, the clan of the Punites, of Yashuv, the clan of the Yashuvites, of Shimron, the clan of the Shimronites. These are the clans of Issachar according to their registered ones, 64,300. Sons of Zebulun according to their clans, of Sered, the clan of the Sardites, of Elon, the clan of the Elonites, of Yachleel, the clan of the Yachleelites. These are the clans of the Zebulunites according to their registered ones, 60,500. Sons of Joseph according to their clans, by Manasseh and Ephraim. Sons of Manasseh, of Machir, the clan of the Machrites, and Machir brought forth Gilad, of Gilad, the clan of the Giladites. These are the sons of Gilad, of Ezer, the clan of the Ezerites, of Helech, the clan of the Helechites, of Asriel, the clan of the Asrielites, of Shechem, the clan of the Shechemites, of Shemidah, the clan of the Shemiadites, of Hefer, the clan of the Heferites, and Zelophehad, son of Hefer, had no sons but daughters. And the names of the daughters of Zelophehad, Machlah, and Noah, and Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the clans of Manasseh, and their registered ones, 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim, according to their clans, of Shut Chelach, the clan of the Shut Chelites, of Becher, the clan of the Bachrites, of Tachan, the clan of the Tachanites. And these are the sons of Shut Elach, of Eran, the clan of the Aaronites. These are the clans of the sons of Ephraim, according to their registered ones, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph, according to their clans. Sons of Benjamin, according to their clans, of Bela, the clan of the Belites, of Ashbel, the clan of the Ashbelites, of Ahiram, the clan of the Ahiramites, of Shephupham, the clan of the Shephuphamites, of Hufam, the clan of the Hufamites. And sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman, of Ard, the clan of the Ardites, of Naaman, the clan of the Naamites. These are the sons of Benjamin according to their clans, and their registered ones, 45,600. These are sons of Dan according to their clans, of Shuham, the clan of the Shuhamites. These are the clans of Dan according to their clans. All the clans of the Shuhamites according to their registered ones, 64,400. Sons of Asher according to their clans, of Yimnah, the clan of the Yimnahites, of Yishwi, the clan of the Yishwiites, of Beriah, the clan of the Beriites, of the sons of Beriah, of Hever, the clan of the Heverites, of Malchiel, the clan of the Malchielites. The name of the daughter of Asher was Serach. These are the clans of the sons of Asher, according to their registered ones, 53,400. Sons of Naphtali, according to their clans, of Yatzeel, the clan of the Yatzeelites, of Guni, the clan of the Gunites, of Yetzer, the clan of the Yetzerites, of Shilem, the clan of the Shilemites. These are the clans of Naphtali according to their clans, and their registered ones, 45,400. These are the registered ones of the children of Israel, 601,730. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, the land is to be divided to these as an inheritance according to the number of names. To the large one you give a larger inheritance, and to the small one you give a smaller inheritance. Each shall be given its inheritance according to their registered ones, but the land is divided by lot. They inherit according to the names of the tribes of their fathers. According to the lot, their inheritance is divided between the larger and the smaller. And these are the registered ones of the Levites according to their clans, of Gershon, the clan of the Gershonites, of Kehat, the clan of the Kehathites, of Merari, the clan of the Merarites. These are the clans of the Levites, the clan of the Levnites, and the clan of the Hevronites, and the clan of the Machlites, and the clan of the Mushites, and the clan of the Korhites. And Kehat brought forth Amram, and the name of Amram's wife was Yocheved, and the daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. And to Amram she bore Aaron and Moses and their sister Miriam. And to Aaron was born Nadav and Avihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And Nadav and Avihu died when they brought strange fire before Yahuwah. And their registered ones were 23,000, every male from a new moon old and above. for they were not registered among the other children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given to them among the children of Israel. These are the ones registered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who registered the sons of Israel in the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan of Jericho. But among these there was not a man of those registered by Moses and Aaron the priest, when they registered the sons of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. For Yahovah had said to them, they shall certainly die in the wilderness, and not a man was left of them except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Numbers chapter 27. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, son of Gilad, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. And these were the names of his daughters: Machlah, Noah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses, and before Eleazar the priest, and before the leaders, and all the congregation by the doorway of the tent of appointment, saying, our father died in the wilderness, yet he was not in the company of those who were met together against Yahovah in company with Korah. But he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be removed from among his clan, because he had no son? Give us a possession among the brothers of our father. Moses then brought their case before Yahovah, and Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad speak what is right. You should certainly give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers, and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. And speak to the children of Israel, saying, when a man dies and has no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. And if he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. And if he has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, and he shall possess it. And it shall be to the children of Israel a law of right ruling, as Yahovah commanded Moses. And Yahovah said to Moses, go up into this Mount Avarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. And when you have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered, because you rebelled against my mouth in the wilderness of Sin, and the strife of the congregation to set me apart at the waters before their eyes. These were the waters of Merivah at Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin. And Moses spoke to Yahovah, saying, let Yahovah, the Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, appoint the man over the congregation, who goes out before them and comes in before them, who leads them out and brings them in, so that the congregation of Yahovah be not like sheep without a shepherd. And Yahovah said to Moses, take Joshua, son of Nun, with you, a man in whom is the Spirit, and you shall lay your hands on him, and shall set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him command before their eyes, and shall put some of your esteem upon him, so that all the congregation of the children of Israel obey him. And he is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire before Yahovah for him by the right ruling of Urim. At his word they go out, and at his word they come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, all the congregation. And Moses did as Yahovah commanded him, and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and laid his hands on him, and commissioned him, as Yahovah commanded by the hand of Moses. Numbers chapter 28. And Yahovah spoke to Moses, saying, command the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, take heed to bring my offering, my food for my offerings made by fire, as a sweet fragrance to me at their appointed time. And you shall say to them, this is the offering made by fire which you bring to Yahovah, 2 male lambs a year old, perfect ones, daily, a continual ascending offering. The one lamb you prepare in the morning, and the other lamb you prepare between the evenings, with 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of pressed oil, a continual ascending offering, which was offered at Mount Sinai for a sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire to Yahovah, and its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. Pour out the drink to Yahovah as an offering in a set-apart place. And the other lamb you prepare between the evenings, as the morning grain offering, and its drink offering you prepared as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs, a year old, perfect ones, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with oil with its drink offering, the ascending offering for every Sabbath, besides the continual ascending offering with its drink offering. And on the beginnings of your new moons, you bring near an ascending offering to Yahovah, 2 young bulls and 1 ram, and 7 lambs, a year old, perfect ones, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with oil for each bull, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with oil for 1 ram, and 1/10 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, as a grain offering for each lamb, as an ascending offering of sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire to Yahovah. And their drink offering is half a hin of wine for a bull, and 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the ascending offering for each new moon throughout the new moons of the year. And 1 male goat as a sin offering to Yahovah is prepared, besides the continual ascending offering and its drink offering. And in the first new moon, on the 14th day, is the Passover of Yahovah. And on the 15th day of this new moon is a festival. For 7 days unleavened bread is eaten. And on the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And you shall bring near an offering made by fire as an ascending offering to Yahovah, 2 young bulls and 1 ram, and 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones. They are for you. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil. Prepare 3/10 of an ephah for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. Prepare 1/10 of an ephah for each of the 7 lambs, and 1 goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Prepare these besides the ascending offering of the morning, which is for a continual ascending offering. According to these, you are to prepare the food of the offering made by fire daily for 7 days as a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. It is prepared besides the continual ascending offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day, you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And on the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to Yahovah at your festival of Shavuot, at your festival of Pentecost, you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And you shall bring near an ascending offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahovah, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs a year old, with their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, 1 male goat to make atonement for you, perfect ones. They are for you. Prepare them with their drink offerings besides the continual ascending offering with its grain offering. Numbers, chapter 29. And in the 7th new moon, on the first day of the new moon, you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. It is Yom Teruah for you. It is the day of trumpets for you. And you shall prepare an ascending offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahovah, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, and 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Besides the ascending offering with its grain offering for the new moon, the continual ascending offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings according to their right ruling, as a sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire to Yahovah. And on the 10th day of this 7th new moon, you have a set-apart gathering, and you shall afflict your beings and do no work. And you shall bring near an ascending offering to Yahovah, a sweet fragrance, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones. They are for you. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the sin offering for atonement, the continual ascending offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th new moon, you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. You shall celebrate a festival to Yahovah 7 days. And you shall bring near an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones they are, and their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs, and 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. Then on the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to their right ruling. And 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. Then on the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. Then on the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. Then on the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. Then on the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you have an assembly. You do no servile work, and you shall bring near an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahovah. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones, their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual ascending offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you prepare to Yahovah at your appointed times, besides your vow offerings and your voluntary offerings, as your ascending offerings and your grain offerings, as your drink offerings and your peace offerings. And Moses spoke to the children of Israel according to all Yahovah had commanded Moses. Hallelujah. Praise Yeshua and Jehovah. That's another evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow. And with that being said, I'm just going to raise these set apart hands high in the sky and give all praise, respect, love, and homage due to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yeshua. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for walking that walk. Thank you so much for thinking of each and every one of us when you walked that walk to Golgotha, to Calvary, and you were hung and tortured on the way and on that stake, and you thought of each and every one of us, and you paid the cost for our wrongdoing. Thank you so much. Wish you didn't have to do it. Not that you had to do it, but wish you didn't have to do it. Not so we could take anything away from you, but just so you didn't have to bear our iniquity. But thank you for being our big brother. Thank you for being the most righteous, perfect image bearer of our Heavenly Father. And thank you for loving us that much that you were willing to incur that and go through that, endure that, and absorb all of that pain for us to give us a chance to come back into the family. Hallelujah. Yeshua, please pray to our Father that we are counted worthy to escape all that's about to take place, being in this last generation, in these end times, in these last of days, because the hour is near. So please count us worthy to escape all that's about to take place, and count us worthy to be blessed, to see you come back on the clouds, and to make it to the place of safety, and make it safely. Hallelujah. Praise you, Yeshua. Thank you for the Ruach. In your mighty name and by your blood, we worship you, Yah. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom, lalatov. Amen, amen. Good night, all.